This one's a little different. This one is, do you think grammar should be taught explicitly or implicitly? So what I mean is, do you think we should teach like specific grammar rules, like the subject, verb, object, and then teach the different verbs, tenses and stuff? Do you think we should teach that like from a book, or do you think we should read and introduce new vocabulary and then have the grammar come with that?
I'm not really sure how I feel about that, because I was taught what's the subject, what's the verb in Spanish,
Mm-hmm.
and that you use verbs that end in O with yo, which is I, and that you use verbs that end in es with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that one of my parents, one of the kids, the families that I'm teaching, she will talk to me about grammar and subject and verb. She'll talk to me about that stuff. So if somebody's already learned the grammar of their own language in school, where they know what a subject is and they know what a verb is and they know all that stuff, and they can learn what the word subject means in English and verb means in English, and then you can teach them that way, then I think that might be beneficial. I mean, that's how I learned, but I'm kind of going about teaching because I don't know how to teach them verbs, like I can walk and say this is to walk, and I can teach and I can say this is to teach, you know what I mean? But it would have to be used by example, because I don't have a translator anymore, right? So I'm not sure. I mean, I'm teaching them vocabulary, and I'm kind of going from the point of view of this. Okay, this is something natural, drive, but I didn't teach them you drive, he drives, we drive. I tried early on to do that, and then
Did they get bored with it, or how did they respond to like when you were really drilling them on it? More so than just like...
It just seems so out of context. The other things, it's like when I'm teaching them in a different way, emotionally they are bonding to me better. They seem more engaged in the learning. It doesn't seem as hard for the adults. It seems more in context. So it's like, what am I trying to say? It's like if you try to teach someone science and they don't know anything about science, then here they are trying to figure it out, right? But the other way that I'm teaching them has their heart in it, their soul in it, their emotions in it, their mind in it. It's not just a mental exercise. And like I had Nadaya lead a game where like red light means stop, and green light means go, and yellow light means be careful. And she certainly is going to remember that forever. Now the next day, the next class, La didn't quite remember what the red light meant, but everybody else did in the class. So I don't know. I'm kind of going on the premise that, for one thing, it's easier for me to teach.
Without explicit grammar? Without like teaching the rules and specifics?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, and maybe it's because I'm not a good teacher yet, but I don't